Yeah, video games have been part of my life for so long that I I don't know. I need video games. um, whether it's for stuff like this where I would just play late night and just be alone with my thoughts, or when I'm with friends. Um, I always had this feeling to escape, but for some reason, video games weren't cutting it for me anymore. I didn't find joy playing video games for a long time. And, another media people escape to is music. Music has been my favorite thing for the longest time. I love music. I express myself so much through music, um, that, I even worked in music for a little bit. It was fun, but, you know, opportunities didn't arise, so I couldn't continue, really. Maybe if I pursued it one day, but anyways, um, you know, music is for sure the medium that I find myself exploring a lot now. And I think it's good because when you meet new people or you're talking with your friends, you find a lot of music that you probably wouldn't have discovered if you didn't talk about it. Um, like I'm so glad that I have friends that have similar tastes to me, but then I'm also glad that they have genres that I probably wouldn't have really gone discovering through myself. Um, oh, so I think music to me is just so big in that sense, in a way that video games can't be, because not everyone plays video games, but everyone listens to music. And there will probably almost never be a time where I'm by myself, where I'm not listening to music, whether I'm just relaxing or whether I'm doing something. And part of that just comes from not wanting to be alone with my thoughts. I feel like when I'm alone with my thoughts, I get to overthinking, and I'd much rather be listening to music because music helps me escape what I'm feeling, but also expresses from what I'm feeling, if that makes sense. I feel a lot of what I feel through songs, and a lot of feelings I have are attached to certain songs or certain experiences in my life. Like when you go through a breakup, for example, there'll be sad music, there'll be happy music that people listen to, and it's hard for someone that likes music so much because when something bad happens or something good happens, you associate certain songs with certain experiences in life. So for my first ever breakup, there was just certain artists that I would listen to, and now every time I listen back to those artists, that's the time in my life that I jump back to. Not like I'm trying to, but that's just because my mind reverts. Well, I wouldn't say reverts, but thinks back on those times, and you know, it's good for some parts. So, like happy moments in my life where I've been in certain phases of music, and now I associate those artists or that those songs with the good times in my life. For and then there's also those artists who just always somehow, some way have a song for everything that happens in your life. Um, one of the ones I listen to most, obviously, is well, not obviously, it's kind of a, but Mac DeMarco. I love Mac. I listened to all of his non-released, his released, his um, and I've seen interviews and I've seen so many things relating to him. And that's what's so good about music. You learn about people that you never would have met uh, outside of that space. Um, but then it also feels kind of unreal, like surreal, because you'll probably never meet this person, but you know so many things about them just because they make something that you like. So, you know, you kind of feel a connection to this person that you probably never meet. And that's okay, you know. Everyone is just in each other's lives somehow, some way. But I'm glad that there's people that have such a talent to create what many others can enjoy. And I think that's why I like music so much. Um, I feel like it's a good way to escape from things. Uh, so, you know, music, you know, I I don't know where I would be without it. I'd probably be a lot more quiet in my head. So I'm glad I have something like that to escape to. But yeah.